Hey, welcome back to another episode of the She's Making an Impact podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Ngom, and I'm so happy that you are here. I am actually recording this podcast from West Africa. I am in Dakar, Senegal right now. I feel like I need to do an episode on just like life update. It's been insane. So we were in Israel visiting my parents as a family. We got baptized in the Jordan River. It was like, oh man, amazing. And then we flew Israel to Paris to Dakar, Senegal. And if you don't know Senegal, oh my gosh, I love this place. This is actually, I lived here back in 2010, right before I got my master's in social work. And this is where I met my husband. We had kind of a whirlwind romance. We met, fell in love right away. It was like love at first sight kind of thing. We got married, a few months later. It was kind of crazy, but we're back and it's so fun to be here. And if you've never been to Africa, you need to come to Senegal. It's close. It's only like 7-hour flight from the States, if that's where you are, from DC, at least DC or New York. And they call it La Teranga, which means the land of hospitality. So if you're following me on Instagram, at She's Making an Impact, you can kind of see behind the scenes of what we're up to, all the things we're doing, all the adventures, all the shenanigans. We're having a lot of fun and it's good to be back. You know, my heart's definitely in Africa. It's so much of how I've grown has been here. And yeah, anyways, I do have an episode for you and we're talking about the top 5 books for female entrepreneurs today. So I am an avid reader. I'm reading literally pretty much all the time. And I've read almost a book a week, almost for the past 8 years. And so that could be like reading a book, listening to a book. I'm reading all the time. And so when I tried to narrow this down to the top 5 books for female entrepreneurs, this was hard. But I try to think about what I really struggled with most when I was first starting my business, and also, just working with thousands of clients over the years, what they struggle with. And when it really came down to it, the biggest things that I see entrepreneurs are struggling with, it's mindset, consistency, a fear of failure, organization/goal setting, and success habits. So when I picked out these top 5 books, there is a method to what I picked out. I do have an entire list of like the best books I've ever read. You could check that out on my blog. I'll put it in the show notes here. But so I just wanted to make sure you knew when I selected these 5, there was a method to my madness. Welcome to the She's Making an Impact podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Ngom. I'm an entrepreneur, mom, adventure lover, and creator of Pin with Purpose, the Impact Blogging Academy, and Activate. I went from food stamps and negative $400 in my checking account to a multiple 6-figure online business. This is your show to learn from me and other rockstar entrepreneurs how to monetize your passion and live out your purpose. If you're ready to increase your income while making a massive impact on the world, this is the show for you. I'm so pumped you're here. Let's get started. So let's start off with the first one. If you're struggling with mindset, the number 1 book I would recommend for you is The Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer. Mindset, it literally is the number 1 thing that's holding entrepreneurs back from success. Tony Robbins says that the success of the business is dependent on the psychology of its leader. So you have to be growing your mindset and growing as a leader every day. Every day. And we have so much crap that's going through our heads that's really limiting us and our success. And a full disclosure about Battlefield of the Mind is that this is a Christian book. But if you're not a Christian, I think that you'll appreciate the principles that Joyce teaches within the book. And so I'll give you just a little summary of the book. So it says that worry, doubt, confusion, depression, anger, and feelings of condemnation, all of these are attacks on the mind. And if readers suffer from negative thoughts, they can take heart. And Joyce Meyer has helped millions win these all-important battles. And in her most popular bestseller ever, the beloved author and minister shows readers how to change their lives by changing their minds. So she teaches how to deal with the thousands of thoughts that people think every day, how to focus the mind the way God thinks. And she shares the trials, tragedies, and ultimate victories from her own marriage, family, and ministry that led her to wondrous, life-transforming truth and reveal her thoughts and feelings every step of the way. And I wanted to share a quote from the book, and it said that people living in the vanity of their own mind not only destroy themselves, but far too often they bring destruction to others around them. So if you know that you need to work on your mindset, pick up The Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer. Book number 2. So if you want to work on your success habits, I suggest you read The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod, Elrod, and I'll put all these in the show notes too, so you can see them all. So success is really a matter of the habits that you have, okay? And this book, if you implement what he's teaching, The Miracle Morning, and you make it a part of your life, it will change your life. My morning routine, it is an essential part of my day and my success. And Hal really breaks down how you should spend your mornings to set up your day. And this will work for you even if you're not a morning person. And what I love about it is he really sets it up so you can start off slow with just like 5 minutes of a morning routine, if that's all you've got. And then if you want to make it longer, you can make it longer. But yeah, morning routines and having these like really essential success habits, it's so key. So what they say about the book is it's one of the most life-changing books ever written. And it may be the simplest approach to achieving everything you've ever wanted and faster than you ever thought possible. What if you could wake up tomorrow and any or every area of your life was beginning to transform? What would you change? The Miracle Morning is already transforming the lives of tens of thousands of people around the world by showing them how to wake up each day with more energy, motivation, and focus to take your life to the next level. It's been right here in front of us all along, but this book has finally brought it to life. Okay, so one of my favorite quotes from the book is how you wake up each day and your morning routine or lack thereof dramatically affects your levels of success in every single area of your life. Focused, productive, successful mornings generate focused, productive, successful days, which inevitably create a successful life. In the same way that unfocused, unproductive, and mediocre mornings generate unfocused, unproductive, and mediocre days. And ultimately, a mediocre quality of life. By simply changing the way you wake up in the morning, you can transform any area of your life faster than you ever thought possible. Phew. Okay. Book number 3 is if you struggle with the fear of failure, you need to read Failing Forward by John Maxwell. So I've talked about so many John Maxwell books on this podcast, but I mean, he's amazing. He's written like 90 books or something. He's incredible and has been such an incredible mentor to me from afar. But if you have this fear of failure, you need to read Failing Forward. So I actually had the honor of meeting John Maxwell and seeing him speak several times, and I've gotten to work with him for an entire year. Not me personally, but me within my network marketing organization got to work with him. And, you know, when I had to pick one of his books, there were so many that I could have chosen, but I really do believe that the fear of failure is holding so many of us from really going all in. And so Failing Forward is going to help you redefine failure. So it's really not something that you fear anymore, but it's something that you pursue. And when you make that switch, I swear everything is going to change. So here's what they say about the book. The major difference between achieving people and average people is their perception of and response to failure. John Maxwell takes a closer look at failure and reveals that the secret of moving beyond failure is to use it as a lesson and a stepping stone. He covers the top reasons people fail and shows us how to master fear instead of being mastered by it. Readers will discover that positive benefits can accompany negative experiences if you have the right attitude. Chock full of action, suggestions, and real-life stories, Failing Forward is a strategic guide that will help men and women move beyond mistakes to fulfill their potential and achieve success. And one of my favorite quotes from this book is, "The essence of man is imperfection. Know that you're going to make mistakes. The fellow who never makes a mistake takes his orders from one who does." Oh, yes. Preach it. Wake up and realize this. Failure is simply a price we pay to achieve success. Yeah, you need to write that down. Failure is a price we pay to achieve success. So if you struggle with the fear of failure, dude, pick up Failing Forward. It'll change your life. I hope you're enjoying the episode so far. I just wanted to pop in here briefly to talk to you about my free Pinterest masterclass. So Pinterest is kind of my jam, right? I've used Pinterest to get over 20,000 leads into my business for free, and increase my site traffic by over 34,000. So I want to teach you how to do this. So jump on my free Pinterest training. Just go to freepinterestclass.com and I'll teach you how you can double your leads and sales using this freaking awesome platform and automate the process at the same time. So go to freepinterestclass.com and I'll see you there. Okay, book recommendation number 4 is The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. And if you struggle with consistency, you need to read this book. This was actually one of the first personal development books that I read when I started my business at the age of 23. And it helped me set myself up with these small, seemingly insignificant actions that have led to my success today. And I just remember reading 10 pages of a book a day, as Darren Hardy suggested, and thinking, will this really make a difference? And looking back 8 years later, I can say that, yes, it has. Those tiny little actions that I just made a part of my life, it has made the biggest difference. And I am so grateful that I read this book. So here's what they say about the book. No gimmicks, no hyperbole, no magic bullet. The compound effect is a distillation of the fundamental principles that have guided the most phenomenal achievements in business, relationships, and beyond. This easy-to-use step-by-step operating system allows you to multiply your success, chart your progress, and achieve any desire. If you're serious about living an extraordinary life, use the power of the compound effect to create the success you want. You will find strategies, including how to win every time, the number one strategy to achieve any goal and triumph over any competitor, even if they're smarter, more talented, or more experienced. Eradicating your bad habits, some that you might be unaware of that are derailing your progress. The real lasting keys to motivation, how to get yourself to do things you don't feel like doing. Capturing the elusive, awesome force of momentum. Catch this and you'll be unstoppable. The acceleration secrets of super achievers. Do they have an unfair advantage? Yes, they do. And now you can too. And here's one of my favorite quotes from The Compound Effect. It's not the big things that add up in the end. It's the hundreds, thousands, or millions of little things that separate the ordinary from the extraordinary. So when you see someone and you think they're an overnight success, no, they're not. They're really just the compound effect in action. They've been doing little unsexy actions every day for years. And that is really what leads to their success. All right, last book. Well, book number 5. And then I think, we got a bonus. Okay, book number 5 is If You Struggle with Organization or Goal Setting, it's The 12-Week Year by Brian Moran. And I used to set yearly goals and it would kind of overwhelm me. And throughout the year, I'd end up losing sight of that big goal. And after reading The 12-Week Year, I learned how to chunk down my big goals into smaller quarterly goals and then break that down even further to monthly, weekly, and daily goals. The results that you get when you do the system in this book will blow your mind. Promise you. if you do the work and do what Brian teaches in the 12-week year, you are going to crush your goals so much faster, get so much more done. This will change your life. I said this about every single book, but they will. These are just essential readings if you want to crush it in your business, okay? So this is what they say about the book. Most organizations and individuals work in the context of annual goals and plans, a 12-month execution cycle. Instead, the 12-week year avoids the pitfalls and low productivity of annualized thinking. This book redefines your year to be 12 weeks long. In 12 weeks, there just isn't enough time to get complacent, and urgency increases and intensifies. The 12-week year creates focus and clarity on what matters most and a sense of urgency to do it now. In the end, more of the important stuff gets done, and the impact on results is profound. It explains how to leverage the power of a 12-week year to drive improved results in any area of your life, offers a how-to book for both individuals and organizations seeking to improve their execution effectiveness, and authors are leading experts on execution and implementation. So one of my favorite quotes from this book is, "We mistakenly believe that there's a lot of time left in the year, and we act accordingly. We lack a sense of urgency, not realizing that every week is important, every day is important, every moment is important. Ultimately, effective execution happens daily and weekly." Oh, okay, I have a bonus because it was just too hard to narrow it down to 5. And the bonus book is called Start Something That Matters by Blake Mycoskie. And you got to read this if you just want to make a bigger impact on the world, which if you're listening to this podcast, you do. I truly believe that being an entrepreneur, it's special. Not everyone is born to do this work. And we have certain gifts that we can use to serve others and make a greater impact on the world. And our businesses can and should be used to bless others and have a purpose beyond just making money. So Blake is the founder of Tom's Shoes, and he shares how he started his for-purpose business and how you can infuse more purpose into your business. So about this book, the incredible story of the man behind Tom's Shoes and the one-for-one method, the revolutionary business model that marries fun, profit, and social good, a creative and open-hearted business model for our time, says the Wall Street Journal. And this book is for you if you're ready to make a difference in the world through your own startup, business, a nonprofit organization, or a new project that you create within your current job. You want to love your work for what you love, and have a positive impact on the world all at the same time. You're inspired by charity, water, method, and feed projects, and want to learn how these organizations got their start. You're curious about how someone who never made a pair of shoes, attended fashion school, or worked in retail created one of the fastest growing footwear companies in the world by giving shoes away. You were looking for a new model of success to share with your children, students, coworkers, and members of your community. And you're ready to start something that matters. With every book that you purchase, you provide to a child in need. So it's one for one. And one of my favorite quotes from this book is, "Conscious capitalism is more than simply making money, although it's about that too. It's about creating a successful business that also connects supporters to something that matters to them and that has great impact in the world." And if this is a topic that you enjoy, definitely check out episode 66 of this podcast, where we dive deeper into different social impact strategies that you can implement into your business. Whew. Okay, so let's recap those books that you're going to pick up, because you are an action taker. You are a doer. I know you are. That's why you're listening to this podcast. So just to recap, and again, these are all in the show notes. All of it is. Book number 1, if you struggle with mindset, Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer. Number 2, if you struggle with success habits, The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. Number 3, if you struggle with the fear of failure, Failing Forward by John Maxwell. Number 4, if you struggle with consistency, The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Number 5, if you struggle with organization and goal setting, The 12-Week Year by Brian Moran. And bonus, if you want to make a greater impact on the world, Start Something That Matters by Blake Mycoskie. I would love to hear from you and see which one you're reading. So tag me on Instagram at She's Making an Impact. Let me know that you're listening to this podcast, that you enjoy it. Thank you for going to iTunes and leaving a review of the show. I appreciate you so much. It's going to help us reach more people. Have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll talk to you on the next episode. Bye.
Please go to iTunes and give my mommy a 5-star review. Thank you. Yes!